Hello everybody. So what you're looking at here is a 1990 Johnson 48 horsepower outboard. It is a 20-inch shaft, which is pretty standard. And it's got a problem. And that problem is, allow me to show you. Engine rotates about there and locks up. Engine then rotates backwards to not close to the same spot, but almost, and locks up again. So, locks up there again. I've pulled both spark plugs, both pistons are moving in and out, so not quite sure off the bat what's causing it. If one piston was moving, obviously blowing a rod, but don't know yet. So this was a pretty cheap engine. I think the guy paid $200 for it. So basically, guy said it had a motor and needed a bigger one. Took this good running motor off and selling it, $200, it's yours. Guy comes along, says, cool, $200 for a good, desirable running outboard. Awesome. Doesn't think twice about it. And it's locked up. Well, not locked up, but it doesn't rotate. So, my job is to figure out why. I'm kind of leaning towards the power head blowing up, but I don't know. So I'm going to pop the lower off first and see if that fixes it. To do that, you remove this pin first. Now I've already removed the lower cowling, makes getting to this, quite easy. But you don't necessarily have to. Alright, so the pin is out. Let's get this motor up. Alright, now let's get these lower bolts out. Oh, that's tight. That's kind of odd. Alright, see if it still does it. Sure does. Alright, well, now we know. I'm going to get the flywheel off. Make sure it's not a... Alright, the air pressure is bumped up. And that did it. So, first sign, the motor originally came from a automotive repair shop that the guy owned. Kind of thinking he used his automotive techniques of tightening everything as tight as you can on this thing. Possible. Who knows? I don't want to make any assumptions, but I assume that's what happened. Although you never know. But that's probably what happened. Alright, so we have one slightly rounded thread. Fun times. Alright. Well, it's possible my screw isn't exactly the best of shape either. Probably ordered a new set of screws. But this definitely isn't an hurting thing. Alright. I see no problems at all with the ignition plate here. In fact, everything under there looks incredibly nice. Same thing with the inside of the flywheel. No grooves or rubbing. A little bit of corrosion on the magnet, but not a concern at all. So, probably have an internal power head problem. So everything we've done so far to this point isn't going to cost us anything. We could still put the motor back together and have no issues with it. Problem is, it ain't going to work. Motor still doesn't rotate right, at least I assume so. So, probably going to do now is take apart the cylinder head and see if there's anything obvious, and if there is, cool. If not, well, we'll rip the whole thing apart. Yeah, good running engine, sure. So the top cylinder blew up. There's metal shavings in the motor, and you can see the metal shavings, forced into the cylinder head here. Cylinder head is trash, and the top cylinder is also trash. Yeah, it's pretty rough walls too. I don't know if it's an overheating problem or not, but sure kind of looks like one. Or just no oil and that overheated it. I don't know. Well, now we know. So all the components on the power head, they're still fine. Well, probably anyway. So I suppose I'm going to rip all of the usable salvageable components off and see what happened to the inside of the power head. And that's pretty much it, really. We'll start with the starter. Then remove all the electronics. Remove the carburetors. Pull the power head off. And take it apart. Alright, power head is pretty well stripped at this point. Now it's just a simple matter of pulling all of the attaching hardware off here. I'm going to start with this little guy just because it's right in front of me. And I'll move around and do all the rest of them. Well, that was a good catch, huh? Be careful of that in the future. Oh, if I did drop it. Well, it's gonna hurt it. Alright, we have metal shavings in the top reed, as well as a pretty good dent there. So top reed is pretty much donezo, and you can never really trust the bottom, but realistically bottom is probably okay. Hell, top might be okay too if you cleaned it out good enough, but it's not worth the risk. Alright, it's inside of here. Metal shavings. Bottom's fine. Bunch in the top. Pretty good gouge there. But the bigger problem is our connecting rod. If you notice, it's not quite in all the way. See what I mean? The tire end is kind of backed off. So you never should be able to loosen that with your fingers. Well, now it rotates fine. Alright, bearings are all destroyed. These have flat spots in them. That obviously shouldn't happen. So what happened was the roller there seized up, crank's still spinning, and it just wore a flat spot in that. And this one, it looks like it went loose and just deteriorated and started bending all these rollers. Nothing really too wrong looking with the rod cap, but bearings obviously destroyed. And the piston, pretty good gouge in it, so it's done for. And of course the top connecting rod itself, inner bearing, probably okay, but you can never trust them, so they're trash. And that is what a piston and bearing should look like. Piston's got a normal wear to it, but it's fine. So all in all, power head itself really isn't that bad. You could probably honestly get away with, well, like the cylinder, of course, but figure out the bore, see if it needs to be honed out or sleeved or bored out. It needs a new top piston. Probably don't need a connecting rod, bearings, and then inspect the crank. And do your darndest to clean out this power head, because the intake channels are under here and it might have metal shavings in there. So if you were determined enough, this could go back to use. It's really not in that bad a shape. So yeah, you could go through all that, or you just replace the whole power head. I think that's the easy way to go. So components got to find their way back onto this. Installation is reverse of removal. Nothing to it, right? Well, I hope you enjoyed this teardown video. If you got any questions, let me know. Comments below as well. And I'll see y'all next motor.